On air.
Live.
Yo, what is up, everybody? This is hashtag follow the conversation, episode 23. My name is Michael Nip, and as always, this is my co-host, Drewby.
Who's dropping that sick beat, yo?
That was actually me. If you liked it, that was one of my songs.
I kind of was guessing a little bit.
Yeah, I figured.
That's off of your album.
Off of my possibly, potentially, eventually made album.
Hmm. Huh? I don't know if I don't think I've heard that one before.
No, I've never played it on the show before. So, as I mentioned, this is hashtag follow the conversation, episode 23. This is the culturalpeople.com show where we just hang out, have fun, talk about whatever we want to. Once again, we were lazy and skipped the Tuesday show where we talk about video games, so we're just going to talk about what we want to again. Okay, here's the story. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight into it.
Okay.
What happened was, I saved up a bunch of money, as we talked about on the show. That's why we, changed the comics podcast and everything. I saved up a bunch of money, and I was finally able to buy myself an Xbox One, which I got Tuesday, and I thought, so I can play this Xbox One, and I can talk about video games tonight on our video games podcast. What you got there? Candle? Light the candle.
Light the candle. Set the mood.
What's the smell?
This is apple pumpkin. So.
Is it good?
I've been kind of like blowing my nose and not really breathing or smelling very well, so I haven't really been able to take in the full effects of the candle.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I thought it was going to be really good. I got an Xbox One. I thought it was going to be great for talking about it on Video Games Podcast. What I did not realize was that it was an Xbox One with Sunset Overdrive bundled, and
you realized that. You did realize that. You knew it was coming.
I knew that. Sorry, I knew it was bundled. Did not realize it was a digital bundle. So what happened was, instead of getting to play my Xbox One, I spent the entirety of the evening downloading the 42 or whatever gig game it was, because Microsoft servers were going incredibly slowly, and so I didn't actually get to play my Xbox One at all, and I wanted to talk about it on podcast this week, so I figured we'd forego the video game podcast. I thought maybe I'd get to play more I was hoping it would be done at least by the end of the night, so I'd be able to play something. The only thing that happened was I temporarily just downloaded an indie game that was smaller and played that a little bit. But actually, I spent most of my Xbox One day playing Destiny on the PS4, which I find a little bit ironic. I'm still having fun with that game. All right, here, Drewby, what are your plans with Destiny? We got to talk about this.
I might buy it. I might not. I do not know.
You have one day to decide.
Okay. Tomorrow.
If you don't buy it this Friday, the entirety of your life could be different. Stepping on a bug could change the entirety of the universe. Buying Destiny is way bigger than that.
It's one of those like core events. Like it's a moment in history that could change everybody's future forever in the entirety of the universe.
It is literally your destiny.
You've been in a very kind of a punny joke mood recently. So okay.
I'm unashamed of my puns.
All right.
So you haven't decided on Destiny yet, but yeah, I eventually was able to play Xbox One, and I played some Sunset Overdrive, and that game is crazy and ridiculous, and it's so colorful and like punk rock themed, and you're running around the place and jumping all over, and things are blowing up, and that game has a built-in profanity censor. Makes it pretty funny because it just does beeps, and I don't know, I just find the beeps kind of funny. I find the beeps potentially more funny than whatever they're actually saying.
The dialogue. They're like the funny beat. Like how do you think the dialogue, voice acting? What do you think of that so far? How far? Well, yeah. Let's before we get that. How far are you in the game? How far do you think hours wise?
I want to say maybe 3 or 4 hours in at this point. Um, I think it's super fun. I think the combat is the weakest part of the game. I think the free flow travel and kind of the vibe of the city and kind of what's going on is pretty cool. I've got this kind of gnarly looking white dude with nerd glasses who wears hashtag support the revolution. He's wearing camouflage cargo shorts and a plaid jacket, and he walks around with headphones on his head, and he surfs around the city and hits zombies in the head with a crowbar while there's punk rock music playing in the background and lots of stupid stuff happens. It's trying to be a funny game, and I find that the humor is hit or miss. Some of it's funny, some of it's not. I actually did laugh out loud at one line last night. Some of the dialogue, it's getting better, and I've heard it gets better as you progress through the game. It's already getting better, because at first it was just kind of super heavy-handed, whereas right now it's done in a better way. Like, there was a fourth wall breaking moment that happened at the first kind of plot twist of the game, I guess, if you can call it that. And it was basically I don't want to spoil anything, but it was a funny moment. You're like, oh, I didn't laugh out loud at that one, but it was like, oh, that's kind of funny. That's clever. I played a bunch of that on my Xbox One, which I'm excited about still. I played one of the games that was free for Xbox Live Gold members, which was a game called Volgar the Viking, and that is one of the most insanely hard platformers I've played since I was a child, and we were playing platformers on the NES or the SNES. So that was cool. I don't know how much it's going to be interesting to talk about on the show. I did buy D4 because that was $10, and that is basically the game that is made by a developer named Swery, who is known for developing a video game that was basically an homage to Twin Peaks. And so I am excited to see what D4 is like. I know that Polygon reviewed D4, and their subtext of the article was Fire Walk with D, which is a Twin Peaks reference if you don't get that. And I'm thinking that this game might also be similar to Twin Peaks in some ways, which is, I am down with any game that wants to be Twin Peaksy as heck, which is a term that my brother thinks is funny.
He thinks that Firewalk with V is a funny term?
No, Firewalk with D,
Oh.
because it's D4. No, he thinks that Twin Peaksy as heck is a funny term.
Okay.
Because we talked about I think it was on a podcast where we were talking about how Twin Peaks was Alan Wakey, and I said Twin Peaks isn't Alan Wakey. Alan Wakey is Twin Peaksy as heck. So yeah, we got that.
And you kind of came into the Alan Wake before you got into the Twin Peaks stuff. So.
Yeah, I played Alan Wake first. I mean, lots of things. We've talked about this before. Lots of things that I like that are super weird and dramatic and stuff. Like, I think a lot of Decker books feel similar to Twin Peaks in some ways. I think Decker goes for a little more shock value than Twin Peaks does, at least in my own brain. It's more violent, at least. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I want to say we talked about us finishing Parks and Recreation last week. Haven't been watching a ton of TV. Been chilling out, playing some DC Deck Builder, which is, I don't know if we talked about it a ton on the show, but like, it's a really fun card game that can be played 2 players. So my wife and I play that. I had 2 good games. I was able to beat her. It's a lot closer. So there's 2 versions of this game at DC Deck Builder. There's like a blue box and a red box called Heroes Unite. Heroes Unite has all of the like B tier characters, whereas the blue box, whatever the main one is, has all the main characters. But the red one came after, and I think it's much better balanced and has a lot more different strategies that you can work towards. I just think it's a better game overall, so we usually end up playing that one. But I've been having some fun with that. Right before the show, I played some categories with my wife. That game, you've played categories, right?
I don't know if I have. Maybe I once, but I don't really remember much about it.
That's the one where you roll a dice that has a letter on it, and then you have categories that say like name an item that you might find in an airport. And so like there's a list of all these different things, and you have to write. I say type. I don't know. I don't even know the word write anymore. It's 2014. Darn it. No. Where you write down words that begin with a letter that you rolled, and so you have to write 15 responses to these questions or whatever, and you have to write them with the right letter. And so I don't know. It's a good brain exercise, I think, but I'm not super good at it at all. I've played with people that are really good before, and it's just embarrassing.
Is your wife any good at it?
My wife can be good at it. I think it helps that we are playing it infrequently, because she has not been good at it the last 2 or 3 times that we've played. She was not great at it tonight. So, whatever. It's still fun to play. She still has fun. But yeah, I moved my 360 in here. That's something new.
You gonna play games in your office now on your 360?
Maybe. I think the most epic part, which is something I will never actually do, but I think that the most epic thing that could happen right now is the fact that I could have someone playing Dark Souls beside me while I'm playing Dark Souls on my PC. Which, is incredibly impractical, and there's very little situations where that would ever happen. But I like the idea that my house could facilitate side-by-side Dark Souls playing, where somebody could be playing beside me and I could be playing the same game and showing them where they should be go. I don't know. It's just really stupid. I think nerds are all grown-up kids, and that's one of my things that I think is super tight.
Could you maybe do something a little bit more practical and have a card or something for your desktop that would allow you to record HDMI input on, so you could maybe play some 360 games? Is that something that you could do?
I could eventually, but I think those are. I don't know. I feel like those are expensive. I don't actually have. I've never looked. So I'm gonna pull an Osteen here and just say I don't know.
Back to Sunset Overdrive. I looked up. The people are saying a game came out recently, but average time to complete is almost 10 hours, about 9 hours 40 minutes. So if you feel
it's kind of your standard action game right now.
And that's just the story according to the site. If you want to do the extras, there's
some of the extras are fun, and some of the extras are not as fun. There's some extras that I've played already where it's you have to kill enemies in a specific way, and maybe when I get better at the combat, that'll be better. But right now, I don't love the combat a lot. I don't know what it is about it, because the movement feels so good. It's just, I feel like the guns just aren't powerful enough for me. Or something, I don't know. It's weird. One of your guns, you have a gun that shoots records, literal albums, vinyls, at people, and it barely hurt, it doesn't, I don't know, they don't react, it barely hurts them. And you have different weapons that are better at attacking different people, but I don't know, it just didn't work super well for me.
I guess, okay, I think that was going to be one of my questions was, if you've even gotten to some of the guns, because it's Insomniac, right? Who did this game?
Yeah, Insomniac.
And they done Resistance?
Resistance. Yeah, and Resistance has some sweet guns.
Which, yeah, because that's kind of one of the things that they're known for. Is kind of their weapons, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the things they do. And I think that some of the guns are fun. There's a gun where you shoot a teddy bear that's filled with dynamite, and it explodes, and this huge explosion. And I think that gun is fun, but I don't know. It's a weird concept because you only have certain amounts of ammo for each of these guns, and then you shoot them, and you run out of ammo relatively quickly sometimes, and then you have to use a gun that you don't like as much. And there's power-ups and stuff that you can get that let you have more ammo for your guns and stuff. It'll probably be something that I eventually learn. I'm just not picking it up as quickly as something like Infamous, which is I think the easiest comparison, which is another game where you're kind of moving around a lot and shooting while you're doing all this. I think the combat in Infamous is better, but I think that the traversal in this game is much better. Also, there's lots of really just like really quick, funny gags. Like you don't. One of the things that was mentioned on GameSpot about this game is that just for sake of making the game fun, they make checkpoints really, really, really forgiving. So when you die, you basically start right where you were, maybe just a tiny bit back. Like you're never redoing entire like large sections. But one of the things is every time you come back, I've seen. There's lots of different resurrection animations, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And there's only one animation I've ever seen repeat so far. Like, every time I've died so far, there's been a new animation for when you come back to life. And some of them are pretty funny. They're, like, stupid, and, like, so much of this game is not explained in any way. But I think that kind of works for its kind of silly, over-the-top, stupid vibe. Like, one of the funny death resurrections is I was doing a mission where you had to climb up to the very, very top of this like incredibly tall tower, and I missed one of my jumps, and so I fell, and a blue portal opened up below me, and then an orange portal opened up back at the land where I was supposed to land, and I fell back on my face, which obviously is both a portal reference and slapstick humor of your character falling on his face. And he's like, man, I'm glad I didn't have to go all the way back to the bottom. Like, really stupid stuff like that. And it's just everywhere in this game. I like it a lot.
All right.
We did our Halloweeny streams this week, but I don't think we ever posted anything, did we?
Not on the site. My video is on YouTube. I don't know if you did anything with yours, but my video is live on my YouTube channel. I didn't really tweet about it or anything or say anything. I just kind of posted it in there.
Let's do this live. What's your YouTube channel?
The username, I believe, is Drewby. Drewby132. Let's see here.
I'm looking. Drewby132 is listed. When I search for Drewby132, I just get a bunch of on the topic of video games and hashtag follow the conversation. That's funny.
There you go. I think it might be Drewby132.
Just send me a link, chat, and I'll look for it because I've already got my post ready and there's a draft saved, ready to go for Halloweeny. So I'll just post that while we're doing this.
Okay. What game did you play?
Yeah, I tried to play Fear, which we talked about before. The problem that I was having with is that I beat the first level. I had one kind of good jump scare, but the problem is that after that first level, it just turned into a first-person shooter and wasn't even close to being scary. It was just basically an old first-person shooter. And so I didn't think it was working for the Halloweeny stream, so I went back to my other game, which I don't like. I hate Amnesia: The Dark Descent at this point. I ended up going back and playing that again. So the thing is, I don't do a lot of. Sometimes I do jump scares, but when it came to Amnesia this time, I wasn't doing jump scares. I was just getting angry at the game because it was making me tense and like uncomfortable. And so like there were parts where I'm just like yelling at the game, like, "What are you doing? Like, what the heck is going?" Like, I don't know. It might be worth checking out because the first thing I do in the game is I step on a bomb that's extremely loud and like I freak out at it. So that might be something to look at. And then we watched a movie, but what did you do for your Halloweeny video game thing?
Well, I never really kind of bought another scary game, and so in the end, I went back and I continued off from where I left from my save of Dead Space. If you know me, you might know that I really don't like scary stuff, like scary games, scary movies and stuff like that. This is not really something I'm a big fan of. So this kind of space horror that Dead Space is I guess fine enough. If you're looking for a game that's gonna like make me like kind of freak out. I probably said this last year. I might have. I'll say it again. The sound effects and the sound design in that game is good. It does its job. Where it's just
Yeah, it
quiet.
is. I've played that. It's
And
intense.
it is. When you're walking around, there's not really much going on. There's no music. You can just kind of hear this is kind of like ambience or static or whatever, and then like a door will move, or like when you complete an objective, like the parts of like the ship that you're on will like kind of move together mechanically, and it makes noise. There's a scene in my last video I did last year, where I spent like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes in this one area trying to figure out how I was going to do this. And eventually I figured it out. And it was kind of quiet, except for maybe the occasional alien or monster that would come up. And then when you got you met the objective, I believe it was getting a kind of like a train car off of the rails. It made so much noise and it got loud, and so it's just like I don't. It might be something like you can use your ears to kind of if a monster's coming. So if it gets loud, you can't really hear that well if someone's coming out. So that might add to the tension as well. But just coming back to it this time, it's really good, and it did its job. I mean, there were a couple parts last year where I got where it was like screamer, not scream, but like yell, like jump scares or whatever like that. I feel that this year might have been worse, and it might have been due to my unfamiliarity with the game because I kind of had to relearn some of the controls. It'd been probably about a year last Halloween when I had played this game. I didn't play this and record this on Halloween. I actually did it the day after November 1st. So
In the daylight, didn't you?
no, I waited till the dark. I waited till it was dark, and then I turned off all the lights. And there you can in the video you can actually see the candle burning behind me. So that did happen. But yeah, I played Dead Space, and I think people might get a kick out of it, watching me kind of just freak out at some of the stupid stuff some of the stuff that happened. Like there'll be a body on the ground, and I wasn't really thinking that it was going to jump up. There's one part where it just like gets up and it's just like, oh my goodness. So anyway, this video is only about 3:44 minutes long, 43:56. I basically kind of stopped at the end because I got stuck, and I don't know if it was going to be if it's super entertaining for the people just to watch me kind of wander around a room and try to figure out a puzzle. And it'd been a while. There's a point. I think it was about the 30-minute mark on the video, or somewhere around there, where I was basically like, it's only 30 minutes. I want to be done. Like it was just like 10.
I think I said something similar.
It was kind of a relief to be done. Just kind of like, okay, it's like you sign off and then you end the video and then just like, oh, it's just like I can get out of this or whatever.
See, that's the thing. I did not get the same release that you got because of, as per our Halloween tradition, since we got married, is after the Halloween streams for the games, we actually went and watched a scary movie, which I don't watch horror movies, so I am easily affected by horror movies, I think. And we watched The Ring, which I found to do the job that it was intended for, which was make me incredibly uneasy and uncomfortable and a little bit on edge. It also did the same for my wife. So that was fun. It was a crazy, fun Halloween, but at least for October 31st, that night when I went to bed, I was completely done with scary stuff for that period of time. I was good. It's like, hey, Halloween is now over. I'm going to go back to things that are not scary, and then I played some Destiny and stuff, so that works.
There you go. Destiny's not scary. It doesn't really... You're not really worried or on edge when you play that game. You're not worried about that one dark spawn, that one dark creature.
Darkspawn? You talking about
What is Darkspawn?
Dragon Age?
Is that's those Darkspawn? Is that what they're? Okay.
Darkspawn is what they're calling Dragon Age. Speaking of that, Dragon Age 3 is about to come out this week.
Is it the 11th?
Sure. Whatever Tuesday is.
I believe that's when Halo comes out. Halo. I don't have an Xbox One. You need to get Halo, and then get another controller.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's a lot of money. I just bought an Xbox One.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thing. There's kind of two things I want right now. Is I want Halo and I want Lords of the Fallen. And that's a lot of money. And then I want a controller, so that's like $180, which obviously I don't have at this point, considering I just bought an Xbox. Not made of money. Money does not grow on trees, children. Shout out to David E. in the chat who thought it was a nice thought that we made a chat for people to talk to us in.
So.
Yeah, so Lords of the Fallen. I was watching people play Lords of the Fallen on the PS4 live streams. And that was fun. Speaking of which, we never talked about this on the show. I think we really should. The other day, weeks ago at this point, you came to my house, and we had a little bit of time to kill, and so we got on the PS4 live streams. Do you remember what I'm going to talk about?
Go.
We got on the PS4 live streams, and there was a video of someone playing the Playroom, and I use that in quotes, I guess. Someone was on the Playroom, and they were on a treadmill in their underwear, working out on one side of the screen, and this guy's walking on his treadmill, and then like there's the Playroom stuff that's happening, so there's just robots flying around and like trying to interact with this dude. Every once in a while he just like swats. He just swats this monster out of the way, or robot out of the way. But it's just this Playroom stream of this dude just working out in his underwear.
Right.
And like it's in this like Hispanic family, and like I don't know I didn't know what it was, but I couldn't stop watching. And then eventually the guy's kids come in and they're playing on they're actually playing with the robots that are going along, and this dude, this dude's just streaming. We watched it for probably 20 minutes. Just this dude on the treadmill in his underwear, like I could not comprehend what was going on. And then his wife comes in and she's talking to him, and dude's just like chilling out, like ain't no thing. Got my boxers here, and I don't know. It was one of the strangest things that I've seen on the internet, but it's why the internet exists, so we can see strange things like that. And shout out to that guy who I believe his PSN username was Galaubrasil. I don't know how to spell that. I wrote it down actually, so I could try to look him up at one point to see if he does this daily underwear jog stream, which I think would be kind of awesome.
And here's the thing, people. Michael's not really exaggerating here. Like, the guy was in his boxer briefs. Like, that's like,
only his
no
boxer
pants,
briefs.
No shirt. I don't even think he was wearing socks. Like,
he was fairly fit though. Dude was in shape.
Yeah,
he was tuned.
Maybe a little proud, showing it off. It's like, hey, people.
He wasn't quite like bodybuilder. He was like, yeah, that dude works out. Like, he looked good. I don't know. It was super weird, but I digress. What have you been doing this week, Drewby?
Watched some Doctor Who yesterday.
You were excited about that, and I was making fun of you for whatever.
I finished.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I was just making fun of you for being excited about Doctor Who, I think.
I finished season 3. I'm going slowly. Like I kind of binge watch it for a little bit, and then like I'll stop for a while, and then like I started getting back into it. I finished season 3, and one of my favorite characters came back. At the end of it, he was in the. He was in the first season. I think he was in the. He was only like the last like maybe 5 episodes of the first season. Wasn't really in the second season. He's like one of my favorite characters, and he comes back in the 3rd season. And then like there's this reveal about this character, And I was like, wait, what? Like, this guy is this guy? Like, it was like, and so I texted your brother about it because I can't really I don't talk to you about Doctor Who, and he's kind of like, I guess the guy I'll talk to Doctor Who about. And so like I talked to him. He doesn't, and that was Tuesday. He didn't text me back about it until this morning. So I kind of forgot that I'd even texted him. But yeah, I watched that. That's a show. I like that show. It's a I like it. I know you really don't. I know you don't like it. You didn't like it. You just did you have a legit reason that you didn't like it, or did
Yeah,
you?
the show's a bad show. I think that's the most legit reason of all. The acting is like really subpar. The special effects are garbage. The writing is sometimes quirky at best. And then they try to cram stories that could be good ideas into hour episodes. Like, it's just I do not like Doctor Who. Oh, I'm sorry. David E in the chat loves Doctor Who. Enjoy that. I'm not gonna harp on you for liking a TV show. It's just a TV show. But and people always, we talked about this before. People are like, hey, just give it a chance. You gotta watch past season 1. You gotta watch past season 1. I might have been in season 3 or almost to season 3. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I tried. But alas.
Do you like the concept of Doctor Who? Like, do you think it's a cool concept?
Yeah, I think potentially, yeah.
Okay.
Like of a time traveling dude that just goes to different places and does stuff. Yeah. That was Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate. Isn't that what they all kind of do?
Well, this one is like this one like gets out there and crazy and kind of what it does. Doctor, I will agree. And season 1 is, you have to get past season 1 of the reboots. I won't call it a reboot. I'll call it a relaunch. Those are different things, aren't they? Like, because
it's not I don't know what it's called. I'm not a Whovian. I feel like I'm not.
a soft reboot?
I don't have a soft reboot. Maybe I don't know if I am I'm allowed to call that by name because I'm not a fan of the show.
The concept is cool. Like yesterday? Yeah, last night I watched an episode where the Doctor was on board the Titanic, except it was a different. It was it was like a Titanic from space, where they would fly around and take. It was like a cruise liner called the Titanic, but it was like a spaceship. So, I like the show. It's fun to watch. David Tennant is still the Doctor right now, and I think he'll be done at the end of this season because I'm in season 4 right now, and I think season 5 is when Matt Smith takes over. That's his name. David posted it in the chat as well. So this last season, I'll get to see another Doctor, and then like they're on Matt. The show that is currently running is past Matt Smith, like it's on a different Doctor. So the show, yeah, I like the show. I don't know if I'll start wearing a bow tie, but a David Tennant, a 10th Doctor suit would be kind of cool. I get it. So.
Yeah, I think the best British TV show / best TV show that there is going right now is the BBC Sherlock, because I think that show is incredible, and I really like it, and I want to go back and probably rewatch pieces of it because it's really good, and it's been a while, and since there's only 3 episodes every year, so far it's a long wait. Like most shows, it carries for a while, so you get a lot of your stuff filled, and then you get a break. But with the show, like, I watched all 3 episodes in 1 week, and then boom, it's done. It's like, well, dang it, like I have to wait an entire year. But yeah, I'm excited for that to come back.
You have to wait longer than that for that. You have to wait longer than a year between those. Like, it's like a year and a half between Sherlock seasons.
I don't even know, because I actually didn't start watching it heavily till in between 2 and 3. Excuse me, had to drink my milk. Yeah, so you watched. You still watching Arrow and Flash and crap?
Yes. Flash was not on this week. Flash usually airs on Tuesdays, and Tuesdays were the elections, the midterm elections. So they didn't show Flash this season, but they did watch. They did show an episode of Arrow. Like yesterday. I watched that this morning before work. That episode was. It proposes something interesting that might be going on with the story. I can't really say I cannot say it without spoiling like a major thing that happens. So it will kind of work. You know, we talk about like, well, is this what's really happening, or who do you think, and so and so, and who do you think, blah 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 blah, and just talking about different theories. Reed did. I'm listening to podcasts about those two shows. As I'm also paying attention to Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Listen to podcasts. Last week's episode of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was good. Probably like a legitimately good episode, I think. And how it was handled and the way it was directed and kind of the tone of the episode. And I think I hesitate to say that I think you might have liked it, Michael, but it definitely had that kind of a serious tone that you might appreciate more. This is kind of I started following Arrow and stuff like that a while back, but I didn't really seriously get into it until this past summer or right before the summer. This type of TV, like I kind of am enjoying. I haven't really gotten deep into this. I don't think I've been this deep in watching different TV shows before in my life, and I'm enjoying it right now. Whether it's change of pace or it's like I enjoy watching TV more than you anyway. So it's those are good shows. Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If I had the option, I probably would go back and finish season 1 of Marvel. Even though I kind of know what happened, I would go back and watch it so I can kind of be on the same page because season 1 was not very good. But season 2 is definitely better. So if you're not sure, if you were kind of on the edge about whether or not to hop over to season 2 of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., check that out. Arrow is good. Flash I think might be better though. Flash that show is doing well. Ratings wise, a lot of people are watching it. I think it's the most or the second most successful TV launch. I think the one it was competing with was Vampire Diaries, so you can take that how you want as one of the most successful shows to launch on the CW. So, yeah, TV.
You have two choices right now.
Uh-oh.
You can either take the blue pill and try to cut some TV shows now and live a normal life of a nerd, or you can keep eating red pills and just keep picking up TV shows and going deeper and deeper down this hole until you become one of those crazy TV fanatics that ends up I gotta watch my shows. Like you basically spend all of your free time watching these TV shows to keep up with stuff that may be worth your time.
I'm following lots kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 TV shows right now. 3 of them I've already talked about: Flash, Arrow, Marvel, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which you are also kind of watching a lot as well. That show's funny. And then the 2 other ones are Grace Point, which is a good show. David Tennant is the actor in that one. He was the 10th Doctor. That show, I think.
That's why Brenton likes that show. We have a friend that keeps talking about that show, and he keeps talking about. That's why he likes it, because it's David Tennant, and he loves Doctor Who. That makes so much more sense now.
Mm-hmm. Grace Point. So that I'm watching that, and then the other one I'm watching is Forever, which is a show about a man who cannot die. Like he dies, but then
Where did
like
you find that show?
Water. It's just It just started this season. Like this is its first season. How did I find it? I think I might have just saw it on Hulu or something. I might have seen trailers for it and was like, I'll try it, and I kind of got hooked a little bit. So it's not NCIS though. I mean, it can't compete with NCIS. I mean, that show is just so good, quality production. I guess I'll settle a little bit, but
I don't know. Chat, do you like NCIS? I think NCIS is a stupid show. I cannot stand it. I used to try to watch it with my family, and I would just sit there and make fun of the show the entire time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a TV dude. I don't. I watch a lot of comedies on TV. I like comedies on TV, but I cannot stand NCIS. Like it.
I don't know if that you really are much of a TV dude outside, the occasional TV show that you think is funny, because you watch TV. Like I watch TV and like I'm watching these TV shows and I'm kind of enthralled. I'm kind of like paying attention to the plots and the story and little details or whatever. I think really one of the only shows that you've done that with is Twin Peaks. Is that the only show that you've done that with, or have you paid? Or like a Justice League.
Well, if you remember, I was way into the first season of Arrow, and you didn't even like the show then. You wouldn't even watch it. You were like, eh, and like you just stopped in the middle. And I finished. I was like, no, dude, you really got to finish this. Like I was really into the first season of Arrow. I just dropped off and haven't had a reason to go back. Like I can enjoy TV shows. I think it's just a time and place mood thing.
Why haven't you gone back?
Comedies. I can always watch comedies. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in. I'm always willing to laugh. I'm not always willing to watch bad acting and good action get mixed together in an hour-long show when I could play a video game.
Okay. Yeah. TV. I like TV. I started rewatching Justice League Unlimited. Because that's kind of a show that I'll just kind of put on in the background, like whether in the morning that I'm I'm kind of getting ready for work or making breakfast or whatever, or kind of in the afternoon or when I'm not really paying so much super attention to the TV. I'll just kind of put that on and I'm going through that again. That show is good. DC's TV shows. I should clarify. Justice League Unlimited, Young Justice, are shows that I would recommend to people. I think if I had to rank those in quality, or my favorites, I'd probably be for my favorite. I don't know, Young Justice or Justice League Unlimited. Those are both incredibly good, like really really good cartoon shows. You need to watch Young Justice. That is on Netflix. That is a superhero TV show. You liked Unlimited. You need to go watch Young Justice. But so I got a coworker of mine. He's watching Justice League, the first one, and then he's already watched Young Justice. He liked that, and he's gonna go through. He's going through Justice League right now, and then he's gonna go through Unlimited after that, which they are sequential. I think that's kind of what I've been watching recently.
You play any video games other than Dead Space?
Not really. I've been playing this mobile game I've kind of gotten into, called Royal Revolt 2. I believe I talked about
Assassin's Creed Unity for phones.
No, it is. I think I might have talked about Royal Revolt Royal Revolt the last week or the week before. It's like the original. The Royal Revolt 2 is a similar premise, although I think if it fixes one of the problems, the things that I kind of. One of the things I really didn't like about the first game is I think you could back yourself into a corner. You could play yourself into a corner on Royal Revolt, so what you do is, you basically, it's a reverse tower defense game where you lead your army down this path of soldiers attacking you, along with towers on the side and barricades and spike traps or different things, and you lead your soldiers and you have to spawn them over time or whatever and try and get to the end and destroy the castle. The problem I have is and while you do that, you get gold at the end, and you get gold by completing the levels in a certain amount. You get gold by just winning, but you also get gold if you beat the level in a certain amount of time, and that's kind of how you get the most gold. Well, if you don't invest that gold properly, you can put yourself into the corner where you can't go back. It's really hard to. It's not quick or necessarily fun to farm that gold, and then you just put and so then you're just like, I can't get enough income to upgrade this unit that I need, and then you can't really play farther. What Royal Revolt 2 does is, instead of like giving you a campaign, it's more of a social game to some extent, where you are battling other people on the internet and their levels. And like I have my own kingdom. I have created my own path to my gate, to my castle area or whatever. To my it's like the outer wall, the gate of my outer wall. And I've got towers and barricades and spike traps on that. And so people who attack me have to fight through all that and the waves of people that I have purchased and so forth to get. So likewise, when I attack somebody else, I'm attacking their kingdom that they've set up. And so as long as you have food to feed your armies, and continue attacking these people, these other players, you can just farm. You can farm gold and upgrade your units. So if you screw up and like, oh wait, I don't want to upgrade my archer, I want to upgrade my paladin or something or whatever, then you can still get gold and beat levels to be able to upgrade your paladin so that you can take on bigger challenges or climb higher obstacles or whatever. So there's more of like I don't want to say micromanage, but like I have taverns that I've leveled up that give me gold, and so I just have to go back to them and get the gold from them, and then I can use that gold to upgrade units. I have workers that upgrade towers and buildings that do different things, and so I think it's better than the first game, and that's kind of what I've been playing recently. I guess there's a third game, a Royal Revolt 3 that's coming out soon. I don't know when that is, but I guess we'll kind of see about that. So yeah, that's
weird. Fun games are weird, man.
I am downloading though. It's paused right now, but I got into Ubisoft The Crew beta for the PS4, so that I'll download that. I've played a little bit of that, but perhaps I'll be playing a little bit more of that recently to see what that game looks like.
So I heard of this game, and it sounds like the perfect Drewby game. Basically, it's sci-fi, and it's got this cool leveling system where you get like this cool armor, and you can level up your weapons, and you get to fly spaceships around and explore. I know you love exploration, and it's also a Bungie game, which you're basically a huge Halo fan. It's called Destiny. It's out already on the PS4, which you own and like, and tomorrow is payday. I know that because we work at the same company. It might be worth picking up. I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay. I might have to think about that.
If you forget, it's called Destiny.
Oh. Okay.
You may have heard of it. I don't know.
You might have heard of it.
I was listening to GiantBomb.com, which we call our sister site. Their Giant Bombcast podcast. Do you remember listening to what they were talking about, that alarm app they were discussing?
Wakey.
Okay. They said it was called Wakey. I can't find it. I
can't
looking
either.
for it because it's not, okay. So, for people that did not listen to the Giant Bombcast, there is an alarm clock that they said it was called Wakey. What it does is you set the time that you want to wake up. And instead of just being a normal alarm clock, what happens is somebody will call you on the phone and talk to you. Like, you're supposed to answer the phone and talk to this person. That way they can actually verify that you are awake. And, like, if you are bored, you can just say, hey, I'm ready to call somebody. And at any point, you can call somebody and wake them up. And, like, it's this weird, strange, creepy kind of deal where you're getting woken up. You can also choose to get woken up by people that are not real. But I don't know, it's super weird. Oh, I spelled Wakey wrong. You just sent me the link for the app and chat.
Yes, that's what I googled it, and I found it. Like I googled Wakey, WAKY alarm app, and it was gonna like, did you mean Wakey, WAKI IE. So yeah.
I was being a terrible person, and was trying to Google all this crap while I was driving and listening to the podcast. So I was not socially responsible, and I did not look for it very well. But I'm installing this app now. I'm going to talk about this on the next week's show.
You're gonna do it?
It's the freaking weirdest thing. You can have a robot wake you up too if you don't like people. I don't know what this is, but I want it. I want some dude like, hey, what's up, man? I don't know you. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm super tired right now. I'm just gonna go back. No, you cannot go back to sleep. It's like, okay, fine. I guess I'll get up and play some Xbox before work and shower and whatever.
It's installing. It's downloading. It looks like it's done. So I'm gonna. It's just here's the thing though. Like you and I could do this too. Like we could just like log in and then like. For an alarm, like we could just talk to some random dude on the internet.
That's what I'm saying. Like I kind of just want to like pop up and like say like, hey, I'm free right now. If you got a second, and then just be like, okay, connecting you with somebody. Like, yo, what's up, man? How's it going? He's like, you know, like what the heck did you say? I don't know what this is. It's such a weird app. Like every once in a while, I get a little bit sad, and I think that we're running out of ways to be innovative when it comes to app stores and games and weird stuff. And all of a sudden, something freaking weird like this, or some crazy, whatever, just comes out, and you're like, "That's kind of tight. I like that."
Oh,
I'm gonna try it out.
I'm gonna try it out. It is on Android and Windows Phone, I believe, is what I heard. It is not on iOS. So.
Yes. Sorry for iOS users. Crap.
What?
And I'm trying to find a music clip to play. Here we go. That was way too late. That's not even the right part. There we go. That took way too long for it to be comedically funny. Are you going to download it?
The app? I think
Yeah, the app. What else would you download? The song? Don't download music illegally. Man, this is the second week in a row you're talking about stealing music off the internet, Drewby.
I do what I can to support my fellow pirates.
Basically what that song means is that we're starting to get near our hour mark, and we're going to start wrapping it up unless you got anything urgent you want to hit real quick.
Halo's coming out next week, and I can't play it.
Yeah, but you don't have an Xbox One, and I've played all of the games that are coming out in the Halo release collection.
All right, fine. I will buy it, and I will buy a controller, and then I will come over to your place, and we will co-op through all the Halo games.
If you want to do that, I will not let you in because you should spend that money to buy Destiny.
You just like locked the door. It's like, nope, you should have thought about this before you did it.
If you buy Destiny, I will consider thinking about buying the Halo game more than I already am. Because I think that you play. That's okay. So here's the thing: you can either spend $120 and buy a controller and the Halo games, which we've already played. Especially, we've played some of these together. You could spend $120, and we could play the same Halo games we've already played, which I do want to play again in HD. Or you could only spend $60 and play a better Halo game, which is basically Destiny with me. Still, it's cheaper, and you can play at your own house.
All right.
It's called Destiny, if you haven't heard of it.
It's called an amazing deal.
Yeah, so I'm not going to pretend Destiny doesn't have problems, but I really do think that game is super fun. But yeah, we're going to start wrapping this up. So, Drewby, outside of the culturemypeople.com and your YouTube channel, which I linked to on the culturemypeople.com, I just posted the Halloweeny videos. How can people kind of find out what you're doing and see what you do in real life, IRL?
Twitter.com/Drewby132, and I believe it's Facebook.com/Drewby132. Those are the two places that you can find me. What the heck is...
Twitter. Password 123.
His password is Drewby132.
Yes.
123.
123. Numbers are hard. You were
I guess
homeschooled. Okay.
Well, it might be because I said I say 1, 3, 2 all the time. That it's just like, what's 1, 2, 3? What is that? That might be what was causing that problem. So, yeah. Social media there. I'm on Tumblr. I don't do anything there. I just check other people Tumblr. So, and then YouTube. Yeah, you can check out my videos and stuff that I posted there. Check out the Halloweeny video. Let us know if you liked it. If you thought it was funny. That might be something like playing The game is kind of good, Dead Space. When I was playing, I'm thinking about maybe just once a week or whatever, just play another hour of it. I know it's scary, but it's not necessarily Halloween. But that game, I should probably play that game. So, yeah, there's that. So,
cool. If you want to find me outside of the show, you can find me at twitter.com/MichaelNipp, MichaelKnipp, or facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNipp. And you can kind of check out what I'm doing. I tweet semi-frequently. And if you want to email us here at the show, #, follow the conversation, or for anything related to thecultureandpeople.com, you can email us at thecultureandmypeople@gmail.com. And that goes to both Drewby and I. We can check that. We'll either answer you direct, or we can talk about your email on the show. If you would like us not to, you can specify that. We have an audio version of this podcast available, and you can check that out on iTunes. We just talked about Apple users before, but if you are an Apple user and you use iTunes for your podcasts and stuff, which I think you have to now, I don't remember, you can find us on iTunes. Leave us a review there, 5 stars preferably. It helps us out. And if you're an Android user, it looks like our buddy in the chat, and we are, you should use BeyondPod, which they don't sponsor us, but I really like the BeyondPod podcast app. I use it for a lot of podcasts that I listen to.
I just got an update for that app. That app has changed graphically. It's different.
Did it? Why do you get all these updates before me? We literally have the same phone. You have the new Gmail and you have the new BeyondPod.
Maybe you should check me. Just open up your phone and check it. Check it.
I don't know. Next time after I get used to this Wakey app, maybe I'll call people on the show with the Wakey app and wake them up.
Maybe this is how I'll finally be able to start meeting chicks. I'll just start calling them. Wake up. Wake up.
Just start waking up random ladies. Hey, I don't know you, but you want to go out? I don't think you've reached that level of desperation yet, man.
Okay.
I don't think you haven't done it.
I'm on the app right now. 2 sleepies went to wake up right now. I could press this button and wake someone up.
Do it. Do it right now, live on the show. Do this. Hit the button.
I need a good internet connection. All right, here we go.
Put it on speakerphone. Here we go. Let's try this. This is gonna be weird.
Look, it says looking. I don't know if I can put it on speakerphone.
We'll at least hear one end of this weird conversation. It's gonna be the last thing on the show, and I can cut it out on the audio version if we need to. Sorry.
It's not. It's still looking like. It's just searching. So. Huh.
Okay, we'll try that again on next episode then. Yeah, that's cool. So for #, following the conversation, as always, this has been me, Michael Nipp, and my co-host,
Drewby.